So I have my patterned paper from last class, and you can use the pattern and the textured paper, or remember also we did some of it on white, and then some of it we did on the colored paper that I gave you in your folder. If you don't have one of those, please remember that they are still in the front office available for you, that you can go Monday through Friday from 9 to 3 to pick it up. But also if you have color paper, white paper, pencils, then you don't have to go and get one. What we're going to work on today is a collage. Can someone tell me what a collage is? Let's see, what is a collage? I see some people typing, so I'm waiting for it to come through. Let's see, oops. I saw some people saying things. Anybody like to share with me what the definition of a collage is? What if I showed you an example of a collage? So this is a collage that I started. Okay. See, I can put it that way if you like. I started that collage. This is, go ahead.
I'm gonna use my echo to define it. Is that fine?
Okay, let me hear it.
Echo. What is the definition of collage?
As a noun, collage is usually defined as a technique of composing a work of art by pasting on a single surface various materials not normally associated with one another, as newspaper clippings, parts of photographs, theater tickets.
Stop.
Wow, Landon, that was pretty impressive. That was I think I need an echo in my house. But yes, it is a work of art, someone that says an artwork that is all put together. It is taking different, thank you so much, Landon. It is taking different materials, normally paper, like they said, like photographs, pieces of magazine pictures, construction paper, and putting them together in assemblage, which means assembling them together for a work of art. Now, these are examples of ones that I have started, and sometimes I'll do a collage, and like this one right here, I didn't use scissors for this one. I ripped and tore my paper for this one because I wanted to challenge myself to see, can I make a collage without scissors? And the answer is yes. I was able to make this piece. Oh, look, something fell off of it. I was able to start this piece and get it kind of going. It looks, to me, it looks like it's like this, maybe the moon, or maybe it's a cave, and these are like grass things coming out. I don't know if y'all can see it, but I curled my paper here so that the pieces would stick out and be more three-dimensional. For here, I'm not sure what I was doing. Maybe another landscape with mountains or a sun coming in, and that's the sky. But I was just playing around with different ways to attach to attach papers. And I was also playing with the idea of having something on one side and being able to flip it over and having a different picture on the other. All right? Yes. So I was just checking the chat. When you are doing a collage, like I've started here, you want to work from the background forward. That's very important because you don't want to glue something on. Have you ever taken something and cut it out and then you've tried to fill in all of the space around it and you get all these little bitty pieces and the white space shines through? With a collage, you always start from the background forward. That's how you work it. This one is another one that I've kind of been playing around with. This idea of just cutting out shapes and layering them. And I started with, I think this burgundy one was my first one. And then I started to add pieces on. Now these are very like geometric, and they're not like your picture that y'all might think of when you think of a collage, like an image. But that doesn't make them wrong. You get to pick which one you want. So today we are going to make a collage. And I want for you to create whatever it is that you would like, right? Your collage can be, I wanted to make sure that I got this right, can be any size. So it could be a full sheet like this, like I have here, which is a little bit larger than a sheet of notebook paper, or a regular sheet of copy paper, which is fine. Or it could be a half sheet, okay? But it can't be smaller than this. So if it is smaller than your hand, then it's a little too small, okay? Is everybody clear about that? If it's smaller than your hand, give me a thumbs up in your video or a yes in your chat. If it's smaller than your hand, good, I see some thumbs up, then it is too small, all right? Now, perfect, yeah, that works. The people that were showing me theirs. Your theme, there we go, I think she's coming back in. Here you go. Your theme, Nada, that's great, can be whatever you would like. You get to pick. But we are going to create this together. So you're going to have the rest of the class to make something. I'm going to take mine, okay, and I'm going to keep it folded just so y'all can get an idea of what a small one looks like. And remember, this is one that I started earlier, but notice it's the size of my hand. Smaller than that would be too small. Before class, I cut a couple pieces. So I cut like some of the patterns that we had done, and I cut some circles. And these papers right here, have y'all ever taken, I dropped a circle, hold on. Have y'all ever taken paper and like paint and like splattered it like this to fling the paint on it? Or this is actually marbleized paper that I made. But have y'all ever done something like that? That makes great patterned paper. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to use them as inspiration to create my own work of art. Elijah, you should try it. It's really fun. Okay. So look at the pattern paper that you had from last class, or look at your construction paper that you were given in your folder. It wasn't this much, but you had a stack like this, okay? And let's start a collage. So pick your color that you want to go on the back. That can be whites. It can be a color. It can be notebook paper. I could, if I wanted, if you had a magazine, I could open up my magazine and say, ooh, look, there, Return to Mars. That right there, I'm going to use that for that texture, that pattern. Elijah, what's your question, sir?
So for my, say when I do the collage, do I need to actually fold a piece of white paper in half?
No, you do not need to fold it. You can keep it the full size because you're only going to do one, all right? Now, magazines are perfect, Nana. If you are stuck on what to create, you're just not sure what to create, then I want for you to think of the word believe. Okay. And you can either do something with the word believe, or you can create an image of something that you believe. Like when I hear the word believe, I think of hope. I think of magic. I think of faith. Whatever that is to you, that's if you don't have an idea already. If you have an idea, go with that. Otherwise, your prompt is believe. Now, I am showing you how I can tear paper and use it without having scissors. So it is possible to create this without having scissors. Now, I really like this pattern here, and I like this card, And to me, this card looks like it's almost a pocket, the way it's coming in. And I know I used white paper, but I really want to use red. So I think I'm going to switch my color. Yeah. Y'all like that better? I want a bigger sheet. So I'm going to switch to a bigger sheet of red. And if you need construction paper or materials, they are at the school in the front office. Or you can use anything you already have. So here we go. I've got my red. And I'm going to take this and start from the background forward. You want to cover your surface, the whole background. So I'm going to take this, and I really like this, so I'm going to get my glue stick, and I'm going to glue it on. If you have Elmer's glue, like bottle glue, then remember dot, dot, not a lot. You don't want to put a lot on there. Otherwise, it'll get wrinkly. I'm going to pick some other colors. Remember, you work from the background forward. Now I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to overlap them so that doesn't really show. Kylan, you get to decide what you're creating. It can be anything that you would like, but if you're stuck, then you can pick something from the word believe. Right now, I am layering my background pieces, right? And I don't want this to be straight, so I'm going to put that one on crooked. Okay. And I don't know if this will cover it or not, but I'm going to leave this part of the red showing. And see how that point shows? I want to cover that up, so I'm going to put a circle here. Now again, today's collage is just about practicing layering pictures and getting a collage done. This will be a participation grade. So you are going to get a 100 for completing this in class and turning it in. I have to see your picture. Now here, I like this here. I hope y'all can see that, but I don't like how this piece down here is plain. And remember, it's about layering. You start from the background forward, like anything. Yes, Tylen, like anything. So I am going to glue this here over top first. Another little collage tip that I like is I let my papers overlap. See how that goes off the edge there? I don't worry about that because when my collage is finished, I can flip it over and cut off any of the extra, and it's not going to hurt anything. Or I can leave it overlapping on purpose. It looks to me like, even though I said I believe, like I've got something that looks like a landscape or maybe like outer space. This right here is why you want to work from the background forward. I was looking at this purple and I was thinking, oh, this purple would look really great overlapping this burgundy or underneath this burgundy. But if I go to pull it, have you ever done that and then your paper rips, right? That's why it's best if you work from the background forward and overlap them like that, because then it won't rip. And I wouldn't be able to cut out that shape right there to match it perfectly. So I always like to overlap my pictures. And one other thing I like to do is make sure, like my edges, if I'm doing something that's straight, I try to make sure my edges line up. So do you see how that lines up with the corner and comes here and then there? So I try to make it line up. And I'm only going to put glue on the paper here because I don't want to put glue on the back of my purple here and then it gets stuck to my table. So I flipped it there. All right. So if you are confused, what I recommend you doing is making a collage. Taking paper, tearing it, and putting it together. Right? cutting it, gluing it, ripping it, and just trying to make collage out of the papers and the patterns that you did last class. Here's one. That my daughter did. This is a collage that she did last week. She took and put a background that was a work of art that she'd made. She used watercolor. And then she made these patterned and textured papers here and glued those on. Remember, collage doesn't have to be flat. I don't know if you can see this, but she put like these little pieces here. I don't know if y'all can see that there, so that it would make the paper lift up. And I can show you how to do that with paper. Okay. My other daughter did this one. She did this one first, and my sister really liked it. Yep, like those, Elijah. Those are the ones. And see, she didn't make hers pop up, but she did a painting of a tree too. And then put the other circles on top. All right. Okay. Is I believe too hard? Do we need to switch to something like landscape? If I believe it's giving you a hard time, you can switch to landscape. But I'm going to cut this off so I know where my edge is. Notice that I glued it down first. That way I didn't have to worry about getting it perfect. Anybody want to show me the process, like how their collage is coming out now? Anybody want to share that with me? Not yet? Okay. Oh, a couple people are. Ooh, look, I've got a landscape, and then I have something that looks like Landon. That looks like Henri Matisse's Snail. He did a famous painting called Snail. I'll show it to you, and because it looks exactly like that. That looks good. Nada, I can see your colors and how you've taken. Those are your pattern papers, and you're overlapping them. That looks good. So I'm going to take my paper. Remember, I started it like this. I'm going to flip it like this because I can. I'm the artist. And sometimes when you're doing a collage or any type of art, but especially a collage, it helps if you flip the paper. Okay. Now I'm looking at the pieces that I made last class, and I see that these match this color scheme, like they blend very, very well. So I think I'm going to use some of these. See how those start to blend well. And I'm going to put in some objects. One of my favorite things to do is make things 3D in collage. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it a pocket. Okay? Remember, you're working from back up. So as soon as I glue this down, it means I can't put anything down behind it. In order to make this a pocket, I'm not going to put glue on the middle. I'm only going to put glue around that edge. So if you would like to make a pocket for your piece, remember, you're only going to glue around the edge. Don't glue in that middle part. Okay. So now I've put my glue there, and I like things at a diagonal. I don't really like things to be straight. Diagonal lines show movement. So, and I lined up my corner here to here just to get it more aligned. But remember, you could be doing a landscape. You could just be tearing strips of paper and layering them together. And that is fine too. This is just practice for learning how to glue things down and doing collage. Now I've got a little pocket right here. See? My little pocket right there. Right? Press my glue down. And I have this piece, but I think that's too much of that pattern, so I'm going to put that to the side and maybe I'll use it for something else. anytime I have an intersection, I always like to have something cover it. So I think I'm gonna put this here, and that's gonna overlap on the edge. Again, I'm just showing you how I'm making my collage, but you can make a collage, any type of theme for your collage. Let's see if I have some magazines. It's always a little scary to open magazines on a live feed. Let's see if I can, I'm taking it off camera for just a minute. See if I can find something that I like. For magazine pictures, all right. For this picture, got a little orangutan hanging off the tree limb there, but I don't want that. I want the color. So I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna tear it. Remember, if you have scissors, you can use scissors. I'm gonna cut this tree here. And I'm gonna put glue on it and stick this tree growing out of my little pocket, like that. So now I have this tree coming out of my pocket, okay? Then I have these greens. See this? This is like green water. And I like those shapes, so I'm gonna cut like this irregular, organic, cloud looking thing. Organic and irregular are the art terms. Cloud looking thing is just a brief term. I'm gonna cut out some more, because remember, I'm looking at the color and the texture and the pattern that's on there. And some more. I've got like this tree forming for my landscape. Is landscape easier to go? Because as soon as I said believe, some people weren't so sure, but as soon as I said landscape, I see people making art like crazy. Is landscape easier? Maybe, sort of. And then I'm gonna do another one here. And again, this is just practice, because next class I will introduce your project that you will work on independently for the rest of the quarter. If you need help, of course, I can have an art talk with you, but otherwise you'll work on it independently. Here we go. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave this 4, and I'm gonna do kind of a combination. I'm gonna make it like a 4-leaf clover, or I believe, like if that's one of the superstitions, you know, if you find a 4-leaf clover, it brings you good luck. So there's, see how that looks like a 4-leaf clover? I hope y'all can see that. It might be upside down for some of you. So there's that coming in. This reminds me of like the Alice in Wonderland. Have y'all ever seen the Alice in Wonderland patterns? One of the things that you can do on a collage is, just because I have this here, I can draw something and add it. So I think I will. I'm gonna take white paper and draw something. I'll draw it in pen so you can see. Oh, that's too big for what I want. There we go. I mentioned Alice in Wonderland, so draw like a little clock. And then I can cut that out and I can add that in. Are there any questions about anything that we're doing so far? Nobody? It's awfully quiet. Okay. So I'm gonna have this like clock come right here. And because it's a clock, I'm gonna cut like a little opening there. Here, I haven't glued it down because remember I'm working from the background forward. And then I'm gonna look at my patterned paper from last class and I'm gonna see, is there anything that I want to add from my patterned paper? I think I'll use this. And I'm gonna cut like a chain looking piece. So I'm just going through and cutting out this like line. Remember, there's no right or wrong here, especially since we don't have a sketch. This is called automatic art, by the way. When you just go and you just create art in the moment and you're just creating it as you go. So I'm gonna take this and slide that in there. See how that looks like that's hanging on that now? And then I was gonna put that there to make it kind of look like a cloud, but that's why I don't glue them down. I think I'm gonna put it and having it come up here off the edge of the paper. What do you think about that? All right, so then this starts to come here. Yeah. Are there any questions about a collage or anything that you want to know while we're working? Okay. No? No? Okay. I'm gonna glue this down. I do have, I don't know if you can see it, I have like a scrap piece of paper back here because I like to put the glue down on it so it doesn't get on my paper. And they're called a collage because it's a collection of images, a collection of materials. And we're gonna look at some professional collages and famous works of art next class period. There we go. So remember, I'm not trying to worry about matching this up to the edge. I just glue it right off the edge and then I can cut it. I think I forgot to glue my 4-leaf clover down. So I'm gonna glue my 4-leaf clover down. What are you saying, Quinzel? If you're saying something, your sound is off. Okay. Okay. Let's get my 4-leaf clover. I hope we're not being rude. Okay, gentlemen, if y'all have a question for me, you can have a question for me other than on your collage that you're making. Okay? All right. So now I have this piece made here. I have this. One thing that I have, we're talking about, like, I believe, my grandma is very important to me in my life. My whole family is. You'll hear me talk about them on a regular basis. And with I believe in superstitions and or faith or whatever you choose to do, magic, whatever it is you choose to make for your piece. She gave me a shamrock that she brought back from Ireland, and I still have it. It was so many years ago. And so I'm putting that in for the I believe, but it could also be as a collage. Landon, your piece looks great. I'm gonna come in too and take a darker color, because remember, this is all about layering your pieces. And I'm going to add in some details like here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but this is starting to be like the center of my shamrock right there. So I can take that and start to put these in so it looks a little more three-dimensional. Does anybody have a question about their collage that they're making, or would like to share something about their collage that they're making? I would love to see it. No? Oh, Elijah, I see your pieces that you've put together. So it's a good start. Remember, this is just practice for overlapping those colors and images. Oops. Here we go. Get that down. And then we're coming here. Ooh, Landon, is that a waterfall? That waterfall looks fantastic. You can leave it the way you have it, or if you see how you cut those strips of color for the waterfall, or see how I cut these little strips. If you take and cut some of those and then lay them horizontal in your background, it'll look like you've got that sunset kind of image. It'll tie it all together. You of course can leave your sky the exact way that you have it, or you can take and do those strips. So if this is one of my colors and then I just make sure they're thin. You don't want them to be too thick. You just want them to be thin. And then you can come in and glue in, see, like these pieces. I'll actually glue it down so you can see. Here we go. Put it on the wrong side. There you go. Yep. You can start to see where it looks like this one might be too thick. And then I can take another color like orange or even purple. And it can start to overlap. See how that adds like a sense of space and depth. Just by doing that simple little thing. I think I might like yours better than mine. I could even, if I want to make a little sunset, come in here. See? Right here. Cut that off. So I've got like my sun coming here. I'm not a big sun in the corner fan. That looks like it could be a comic too. Comet, not comic. Right. So I have my pocket here, but I didn't really do a whole lot with it. Let's see. I just found, because everybody has feathers hanging around in their space, I just found like this feather. For me, and if you looked at my Nearpod, the All About Me Nearpod from last week, you would know that feathers are important to me. They represent my face. So look, I've got a feather coming out of the pocket. So it's like all of these different things that are important to me. You don't have to just have paper. You can have other materials in like that. Okay, and I just realized that it is our time. I don't know, I was creating and lost track of time. So, I'm going to keep working on this and see what happens, see if I can tie it all together in the end, and submit the video. The video will not show until Wednesday morning because the next class tomorrow has to do this assignment too. But I'm going to keep working with this. This collage is not due until Monday. So if you don't finish it today, that's okay. You have until Monday to finish your collage. And remember, it needs to be the size of your hand or larger. You can add other materials to it, like paint, like we have here, right? You can add those other materials, but I'm looking at the collection, your assemblage of objects.